So I've been using the Quad Cortex as my main interface to record and to write music with for the past few months now at this point. I just found that with the type of recording that I'm doing and the workflow that I'm using, I really don't need a huge interface. I just found that there's a lot of benefits to using a modeler when I'm recording so much guitar anyways. Some of those benefits include being able to monitor my guitar right through the speakers, so there's zero latency. I'm also really easily able to send effects into the Quad Cortex and then back out all through USB. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to write a song using the Quad Cortex for all my amp tones as well as all my processing. So all of the sounds that I'm getting from the computer, instead of using like a EQ plugin or instead of using compressor plugins and reverbs, I'm sending everything to the Quad Cortex. I'm essentially using the Quad Cortex as outboard gear. So outboard gear, for those who don't know, is like if you're at a major studio, they have a bunch of hardware in racks, and then they're able to send audio into those racks and then send it back, and then they have processed audio outside of the computer. Kind of in a similar way, I'm sending audio to the Quad Cortex. It's getting processed with the Quad Cortex, any of the blocks, so like reverb, delay, anything like that, and getting sent back into Logic or whatever DAW you're using. And then you have a processed sound without using any CPU power from your computer or using any plugins or anything like that. There's also the big news that Neural DSP added plugins to the Quad Cortex. So in this video, all of my guitar tones are only going to be using the plugins on the Quad Cortex. So that's going to be the Plini X plugin and the Gojira X plugin. The way that they integrated that is actually super cool, and you'll see it throughout the video. You're able to kind of mix and match because they broke up the preset into the individual blocks of the effects that they're using. So for example, there's like the Plini compressor. Instead of having to load the full Plini plugin, you can just load the compressor. Kind of awesome. I'm hoping they'll eventually bring this functionality to the computer. because then I can mix and match all the neural plugins. But for now, it's only in the Quad Cortex. So let me know if you've ever used your guitar modeler as an interface. Did you find that the benefits were worth it to you, or would you rather kind of just use your traditional interface and then plug a modeler into it? I had a really fun time making this video, and I think it's something I'm going to be doing more in the future, running audio through the Quad Cortex. One instance of it that I thought ended up sounding really cool was I'm using a bass plugin from Submission Audio. I'm using Grove Bass, and then I just used the DI setting and sent the DI to the Quad Cortex and processed the sound in the Quad Cortex with like compression and overdrive and amps and cabs, and then sent it back into Logic. And I thought it sounded great. And it's using like 0 CPU from my computer, except for running the DI, of course, but you can kind of mute that afterwards. Yeah, so the rest of this video is just gonna be me writing this piece of music using the Quad Cortex and discovering tones and kind of making it all up as I go along. So enjoy. Cool, so we are at my computer. I have got Logic open in front of me, as you guys can see. And then the way I'm going to be using the Quad Cortex is through Cortex Control. So I have my Quad Cortex off to the side, kind of out of arm's reach. So everything that I do, you guys are going to be able to see on this Cortex Control. So all this is doing is it's telling the Quad Cortex what to do. None of this is happening in the computer. So I have this tone, and I'm using, for all the guitar tones, I'm going to be using the new plugin compatible tones, all the amp blocks. Or so you can see all here it says PLI, which is short for Plini. And these are all the new plugins that are added to the Quad Cortex. So kind of sick. I've been messing with this tone that I got here. Also going to be using my trusty Abasi Space T. So I have this really ambient, clean tone. What I have running here, so we got the plugin gate, the Plini compressor, and that I have the compression turned all the way up because I want it to sound kind of processed, right? And then I'm running the pre-delay, and this is synced to the tempo, which we still need to figure out the tempo for the song. I don't really know what I'm going to be recording yet. I had like a little chord idea, but this is all going to come together in front of you guys. I'm using the Plini Crunch amp, got the cab, and then I have more delay with the ping pong and the mix turned quite a bit up. And then I have another compressor, and this is actually just a Quad Cortex compressor. And this is just, again, I want that like super processed sound. So this is just adding compression over everything. And then I have an EQ taking out a bunch of low end. So I have a high pass set to 348. So tons of low end is getting taken out. So I have this idea where I want the guitar to be playing groups of 7. And the way I'm going to break up that group of 7 is like da 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 da. So within that 7 pattern, I'm only going to be playing the accents. And then the chord like arpeggio pattern I'm going to be playing is in groups of 5. So I'm going to play the accent, but it's going to be cycling in groups of 5. So that would sound like this. Da 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 da, and then it repeats. So I'm gonna record this, I guess, and let's see what happens. Just to kind of give this more context, I'm going to add some drums. I don't know what I want the kick pattern to be yet. I wanted the ride to accent the da 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 with me. So it's gonna be da da da. Just like that. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's loud. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Just like some big guitars, maybe like here. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate that, and then we're gonna pan these. So now I'm thinking of a kick pattern to follow the bass line. Okay, now I'm gonna add an instrument track. What I want to do is run this through the quad cortex. So here's how we're gonna do that. I have the DI. I'm gonna first just make a quick little MIDI thing. Cool, okay. I'm just gonna open up a blank, or let me see if there's a bass preset. Okay, these are bass. I'm gonna try this. So now I need to route this correctly. So this is gonna be input 5 and 6, here, input 5 and 6, and then output, let's go USB 7 and 8 on both of these. Okay, so then I need a new audio track that is bass, and then that is gonna be input 7 and 8. So if I push play, we're hearing the processed signal. It's kind of sick. So all this processing is happening outside of Logic and all in the quad cortex. So now I'm gonna kind of make this a part. Cool, so now this track I can mute. And then now we have this processed bass sound. So I want some like guitar ambient thing to come in here a little bit. There is a preset that I really like made by Northern that is Swells. It's so good. I use this all the time for recording. I use this all the time. I'm gonna just add an EQ to it though, because I want to get all these tones in the quad cortex. I don't want to add EQ in Logic. I like the plugin one. Okay, and then high pass. delicate lead. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, and then I want to double that little that little thing. Bang. So now I want it to go maybe like break down to something else. I'm gonna put drums here to help me a little bit. Ooh, will that let me do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. No. So stupid. I'm gonna try it anyways. Cool, so I wanted to mess with this ending and kind of get some crazy groups of 5s over this group of 7. Alright. Okay, I want to get the bass to also do this. So I'm gonna go back to that bass preset that we had. Okay, and then we were on maybe this one or this one. Okay, I'm just gonna add an EQ to this. Let's go EQ. Okay, I want some reverse cymbals. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run these cymbals through the quad cortex. Reverb. Maybe plate. Let's go. Hall. That could work. So I'm gonna record that one. Okay, so that's gonna be one of them. Let's do another one. Put it here. Okay, and then this one I'm going to also gain up by like 10 dB. 10. I want this to be reversed. I want this one to be reversed. And then this other one I'm gonna put here. Okay, awesome. So now I want to add a little bit of synths. Maybe this guy. Okay, that's fine for now, but I'm just gonna double some. I want to double that. I want to run this again through the quad cortex. So I might put maybe reverb. Take out some of the low end. Okay, now I want a different synth. I'm gonna use let's use Labs or Spitfire Audio. Okay, and now once again I'm going to send this to the quad cortex. Now I'm going to record this and maybe do a little automation in the quad cortex. Sick. I think that sounds pretty cool. So let's listen to the whole thing. sick. I'm pretty stoked about this. So I guess, yeah, this is all quad cortex tones. Pretty awesome. And it's really easy to route stuff because I'm also using it as the interface. So I'm just sending things through the quad cortex, and there's very little latency or anything. So that's kind of awesome. Thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment, leave a like, say hi, say something nice. You can find me on Instagram at Josh Dela and my website, joshuadelavictoria.com. And check out Neural DSP and the Quad Cortex, which is very cool. Bye.